All right, guys, just wanted to make this quick video because I'm going to be embarking on a 3-day water fast. We'll be fasting with just water, some minerals, throwing some salt into the water from time to time. I've done a 3-day fast about 10 years ago. I've done several 2-day fasts. Primary reason is just to give the body a break from food, to give the stomach and intestines some relief. Also to try to see what happens with ketone production. Also try to induce autophagy, and just to help with blood glucose levels, and just to help the health overall. I've done this in the past. It's actually worked out quite well. And you feel after the 2 to 3 days, you start feeling better, lighter. You feel cleaner. I know that may be a strange word, but you feel different, right? And the biggest challenge really is mind over matter, right? So you're not really craving food as much as you think you are, but it's just being around food sometimes that becomes challenging. So this is about 10 or 11 hours in, which is pretty standard. I maybe even do this on a day-to-day basis. And just got done with like a 2-mile walk. I'll keep you updated. So now I'm about 11 hours into my fast. Again, done that plenty of times. Feeling good, no issues, feeling light, no real desire for food, no desire for any specific meal. I'm assuming that's going to increase over the next 5 to 6 hours. And then I'll start thinking about food a little bit more. Once the wife gets cooking, we'll start thinking about eating whatever she's cooking. But right now, I'm good. We'll keep you guys updated, and we'll do some blood work later. We'll look at glucose levels. We'll look at blood pressure, and we'll go from there. Big shout out to Dr. Peter Attia, about 14 hours in, and he recommended Topo Chico sparkling water as a good source of just, I guess, some fun water. It's also mineral water, so we get some nice minerals. But definitely when you're fasting and you're not going to be consuming food, you do look for little hacks like this, right? So I don't do coffee. So obviously some people who fast drink coffee. I don't, but I'm definitely looking forward to this Topo Chico water. So shout out to Dr. Peter Attia. And we are coming on to the secret formula while fasting. Ever get some nice Topo Chico cheat code. All right, we're gonna, about 16 hours in, we're gonna go ahead and check this blood pressure. Okay, so we got 114/80 with a pulse of 69, which we'll test with the, we'll double check with the Oura ring I got over here. So these are some baseline figures, I guess, after 14 to 15 hours of fasting, and it is about 1 p.m. So we'll keep testing back, and we'll go from there. All right, we are about, I'll say, 18 hours into our fast. We're gonna do a little skin prick, and we'll see what our glucose levels are looking like. Okay, 89, but not sure what that means after 16 hours of fasting, but all in all, a pretty good score, I would say. Okay guys, so 19 hours in, feel fine, don't feel cold, don't really feel hungry at all. Earlier checked blood pressure, was a little low, but not too bad. Glucose levels seem really good, and I feel a little weak, so not lightheaded, not overtly fatigued, but just a little weak. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. We'll check in back at the 24-hour mark. I'll probably go to bed, and then we'll check in tomorrow when it's around the 30 to 32-hour mark. Hey guys, so about 32 to 33 hours in, I actually made a video yesterday. I was so tired that I didn't realize I had the camera facing the wrong way. So last night I made a video to check my blood pressure, monitor my glucose levels, and just give some feedback about being 24 hours into the fast. So last night I was a little irritable, was a little fatigued. It was also night, it was close to 11 p.m. I was daydreaming about food, was daydreaming about gluten-free pancakes with unsweetened almond butter and some maple syrup and some bananas on top. I was daydreaming about different dishes. So the fast was definitely getting to me. And like I mentioned, it's been a long time since I fasted. But yesterday the blood pressure was 117/71. And as expected, and as typical, when you fast sometimes and you do extensive fast, your blood glucose can actually spike. And I guess this is some type of normal or typical response your body has when it's not had any intake or any food for some time. So if you remember one of our first readings into this fast, about 16 to 17 hours in, glucose was around 86, I believe 86 to 89. And then when I took the glucose yesterday, 24 hours in, I think it was 96 or 97. So definitely spiked, and we'll see what it is later today. We're about 32, 33 hours in now. When we get close to 40 hours, we'll check the blood pressure, we'll check the glucose levels. We'll also talk about overall mood. But I slept, I slept okay. I'll make another video with data from my ring, the ring that I wear that tracks my sleep. But I woke up a little earlier than I normally do, and I feel fine. I'm not really hungry at all. Definitely craving food, but not hungry. And I feel a little weak, I guess, a little tired. Let's see what else. I have lost a couple pounds. I've lost about 2.5 to 3 pounds. And doing some research on autophagy, I do think that has triggered, it is happening because I'm not very hungry, and because of the hours we've already fasted. Based on that, I think we're in the process of, the body's in the process of recycling old cells. So we'll see how it goes. Initially, I set off for 3 days. I think we're gonna do 2 days here, guys, 48 hours. It's been a long time since I've done it, so I'm not sure if I could make it to the 72 hours if I really wanted, but the question is, do I want to? So do not share this with David Goggins. Do not share this with anybody else who will call me any names or criticize me, and I will check in later. So I just walked into the house and I checked my heart rate and my sleep pattern, my sleep score from last night. Sleep was pretty well, about 7 hours and 17 minutes or so. I'll share the data on the screen with very minor interruptions, which is very good for me, very atypical for me. And the ring did mention, this ring right here, did mention my resting heart rate was slightly elevated. So from about 51 beats per minute to 57 beats per minute. So let's see, perhaps that's something that the prolonged fasting has induced, but we'll see over the next couple of days. All right, guys, so about 35 hours in, and definitely feeling the effects of the fast. So I don't feel hungry, which is good. I'm definitely, like I mentioned earlier, a little weak, a little lethargic. It's been a couple years, I want to say, probably been 2 years since I've done a 2-day fast. And the last time I did a 3-day fast was about 10 to 11 years ago, which actually went really well. And the two-day fast would go really well. So we'll see. I'm going to try to make it to 40 to 48 hours. I think 72 hours is out the window for this time. I kind of just went into the fast, so I didn't really prep for it. Definitely drinking enough water, adding salt in there. It's a mineralized water. There's different minerals and whatnot in there. Did a unwinding session earlier today, which I'll show you guys in another clip what that is. A little bit of meditation. Before I break my fast, I would take my blood pressure and I'll take my glucose reading, and we'll see where we're at. All in all, it's still been solid, even though, feeling a little lethargic, a little tired. Not much either, right? You can hopefully tell from my energy. I'm driving, I'm able to concentrate. And, so everything's been good. And also, what's interesting while you're fasting is like this mental dependency on food, right? It is really a mental thing. So once you've made a commitment and you're like, I'm not gonna eat, it becomes much easier. Definitely don't surround yourself with food. Don't be in a kitchen or an environment close to a kitchen where you can smell food. But this ability to kind of like forego food for a time period is very empowering, right? Realizing that you're not gonna crumble, you're not gonna break, you're not gonna die of starvation. And for a lot of people in the West, it's a new thing, right? I'm a Muslim, so I fast all the time. Nothing new. But for people who've never fasted or who have foregone food, it's really empowering, realizing that you don't have to eat. You're gonna be just fine. And in a lot of cases, you'll be better for short periods. You'll have mental clarity. You will have a boost in energy. As I mentioned in an earlier video, my sleep quality, for whatever reason, improved. That could be also perhaps I'm eating maybe a little too close to bed, so that's causing me some issues. But it's been nice. It's been nice, right, not to be dependent on food, and it also makes the breaking your fast very, very exciting, right? You start coming up with creative ideas of what you're going to break your fast with, what you're going to eat afterwards. You don't want to go back to eating a whole lot. You want to be very safe and very intentional with how you're going to transition into eating. So I think what I'm going to do for my first meal, I'm going to drink a cup of bone broth. Right? I'm going to drink a cup of bone broth. A lot of the protein in it has already been broken down, so it shouldn't be too harsh on the body, or the body shouldn't require too much energy to process or digest that food. But maybe eggs perhaps, and then we'll increase gradually from there. But yes, a lot of the mental clarity, there's been a shift in the thought process. You're kind of in like a Zen type of state where you're just focusing. You're very intentional with your thoughts. You're very intentional with the expenditure of your energy. So yeah, that's my reflection, and we'll make another video when we do the glucose and the blood pressure screening, and then we'll go from there to the first meal. All right, guys, so we're at about 36 hours. This might be an early one. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Definitely not making it to the 72 this time. But we're trying to get close to 40 hours. Let's see what the blood pressure is. And then after we check the blood pressure, we'll check the glucose. Okay, seems pretty consistent with what we had last night. I think it was 117, 118 last night over 60 or 69. We'll check the records. But not bad. Blood pressure is looking good. Let's go straight to the our buddy over here. This will be interesting to see where we're at with glucose readings. Oh, I hate this. Oh. Let's see if it's back in the 80s. Oh, wow. That's pretty low. Let me test it one more time. If that is accurate, that probably explains why I've been feeling the way I have. Probably was accurate, but we'll see. That's a fluctuation. That's interesting. All right, so we did it twice. So we're going to assume it's somewhere between 68 and 74. And yep, probably going to end the fast in the next couple hours. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. So we stopped the fast, everybody. Blood pressure got a little bit low. Not blood pressure, I'm sorry, glucose got into the upper 50s. And it's been some time since I've done this, so we'll try it again. But we got to about 36 hours. Was feeling slightly lightheaded, more tired. And then I broke my fast with the bone broth, had some seaweed. And then from there, what did I have? I had half a shake, eventually a couple hours later, which is unsweetened almond milk, unsweetened almond butter, a third of an avocado, a fourth of a banana, and that was it. So that was the 36 hours. Overall, I would say still good. Felt nice and light. Some good mental thoughts, clarity of mind and whatnot. So we'll try it again, and we'll let you know how it goes next time.